Yeah.
either. But I want to go to this other story that's going on. It has to do with Trump. His sentencing is July 11th, 3 days before the Republican convention. Not coincidence. And also, Merchant informs there will be no bail. So my first question is, how many of y'all think they're actually going to put him in jail? Let's start with Q and go around.
I think that the chance, I believe that that's going to be the goal. And it's gonna depend. If the polling is showing that Trump is nosediving, then they won't put him in jail. If the polling shows that Trump is surging, then they will put him in jail. And you guys know how this whole thing goes.
Yes.
First, they try to shut you up. If they can't shut you up, then they try to end you. And that's the process.
That's why they're given 6 weeks before they actually come in and decide what his punishments will be. Yeah.
Right.
You're saying they want to take a look at what the response by the public is going to be, and then
they want to see if they've given Biden enough of an edge, because what's going to happen between now and then? We're going to have more polling data, and we're also going to have the first debate, right? So the first debate will take place. We'll get a chance to see how the damage that they've done so far, if it's been enough. If it's not been enough, then they'll look for jail time. So, and the benefit to that is if Trump is in jail, they can try to do whatever they want to do as far as the delegates. They can try to pull the delegates away. And then at that point, it's just an absolute dumpster fire at the national convention, because they get to choose on the floor who the nominee is going to be. And that's going to be a hot mess.
Yeah. Especially since in the States, rhinos are still controlling the RNC. And when it comes to overall RNC, the top level, that's controlled by Trump. So the states can actually, like you said, the states can actually decide to ignore what the vote was and go with what they want. And that's the uniparty we're talking about, actually getting in control and picking their own person who's going to run. But let's go ahead and go to William.
Oh yeah, definitely jail time. This would be the what they call the icing on the cake for the leftists, so that they can say that. Yes, definitely. And probably a lot of it. They're probably going to, they're going to boxcar this guy, since they wanted to convict him on 34 felonies. There's a thing in the court where they can run things concurrent, where they can take one, if it's like a lot of the same charges, they'll just run those all as a consecutive concurrent, where everything kind of like, you get it all lumped into one sentence. So what would normally be a 9-month sentence 34 times, they'll just run them all together. And that's a 9-month sentence. They're going to take and do that 34 times, called a boxcar thing, where that would his prison stint would be longer than his lifespan. I think that's the way the judge wants to go.
Well, this case is supposed to be, I think, it's supposed to be 70 years if you get off 34.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It would far exceed anybody's lifespan if they're over 30 years old.
So it's 2 years per count.
Right. And I think that's because, it to make it harder for an appellate court to overturn and move things around by running things in a boxcar fashion, it makes everybody look worse by overturning anything like that. Be like, wow, they overturned a 70-year sentence instead of a 2-year sentence. And, and they're not afraid of the backlash of anybody that speaks out and says, what about, that happened with the illegals that caused all these problems and they got let out, the crime that's going on. None of that's a concern. Matter of fact, they would love this to be a distraction for that. So I think we're going to see a lengthy.
I think this is actually a distraction for what's going on in Ukraine right now with NATO going in there now.
Oh yeah.
Troops in there. But let's go ahead and go to Papa Bear.
Yeah, so, I mean, from the start, guys, this has been a purely political trial. And I think the way that the trial was managed and executed, they knew all along that it wasn't going to stand up, right? Whether it's in appeals or if it goes to the Supreme Court, Merchant knew that it was going to get reversed and it wasn't going to stick. Now, the idea behind doing this was so that Joe Biden can campaign on calling Donald Trump a convicted felon throughout the entire summer and up until elections. Now, I know the other guys have said that they think jail time is going to happen. I don't think jail time is going to happen. The reason why is because last night they created a martyr, right? I mean, the internet exploded, right? Twitter almost broke last night. They created a martyr when they came down with these guilty verdicts. And if they throw Trump in jail, I mean, I already think it's game, set, match with these convictions. But if they put him in jail, that just galvanizes not only the MAGA base, but it also pushes everybody who is in the middle and on the fence right into the Trump camp. So since this is a purely political trial, I don't think Merchant wants to add more fuel onto that fire by locking Trump up. I could be wrong, but I don't think they want to do that because they'll make him even more of a martyr.
But never underestimate the stupidity of the American voter.